Namaste, welcome. Welcome to Yin, rest and reset. So I practiced today. Last week we were practicing with the element of water and the Swadhisthana chakra as an honoring to the new moon in Cancer. So today let's ground with the element of the earth. And as it's very warm, we're going to practice our cooling breath as we settle into our practice. So my friends, have available to you all the props that you need to be supported fully by the earth, inviting the earth to rise up and meet us where we're at. Cushions, pillows, folded blankets. If you have a bolster or bricks available. But then all of the stuff we find in our homes will offer us what we need. Let's start by coming into a seated pose, Sukhasana, legs crossed. Perhaps you place a folded blanket or a block directly underneath your tailbone so that you can open out through the hip area. The knees can feel closer to the earth, the hips are slightly elevated. And then lengthen through the spine. And then lift the crown up towards the sky. For our mudra, let's practice the Prithvi mudra, the earth element mudra, bringing the tip of the thumb to meet the tip of the ring finger, and place your palms face down on your knees. You're also invited to choose the Bhumi Svarsha, where you can bring your left palm closer to the heart and the right fingertips touching the earth. Bearing the witness to the earth pose, mudra, the seal. Closing your eyes. Offering you cooling breath. Sitali or Sitkari. Sitali breath is when we poke our tongue out and we create a funnel. The mouth is shaped like an O. And then as we curl in the tongue, this funnel that we've created down the center of the tongue, we draw the air along that funnel so that we cool the dome of the mouth. And then exhale through the nose. You can instantly experience a sense of change in the temperature in the mouth. Now, curling the tongue up is not available to everyone. It depends very much on which gene you have. So this alternative is Sitkari breath. Sitkari pranayam is where we sort of close the teeth but have a little gap and a small gap amongst the lips. And so as you breathe in, you are going to draw the breath through all of the gaps between the teeth and the sides of the cheek. And you make a sound that you sort of suction the air in through the mouth. And again, you feel the cooling of the breath. Here, the coolness will be experienced on the inside of the cheeks, around the gums. But again, this is an option. So Sitali or Sitkari. If you're able to access both of the pranayams, then you can take alternate practice with the pranayam, with the breath. So opening with Sitali or Sitkari, my friends. For Sitali, the tongue poking out with a funnel, Sitkari with the teeth and the lips gently parted. Both times breathing in through the mouth and both pranayams, and then exhaling through the nose. And you all make a sound as you take the breath in. You are practicing at home, so you can relax about any sounds that you are making. And out through the nose. Soften the face as you release the breath through the nose. And as you have been offered, you may choose to take alternate Sitali and Sitkari. Take 3 more rounds as you prefer, with Sitali, with Sitkari, or including both alternately. And then, my friends, let's bring the palms together in Namaskar at the heart. Our mantra for today is Lam Prthviyai Namah, Lam, the bija sound for the earth. Prithviyai, invoking the qualities of the earth. Namaha, the sense of calling upon. And then Om 3 times. Inhaling to prepare. Lam Prthviyai Namah. Lam Prthviyai Namah. Lam Prthviyai Namah. Om. 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 Open your eyes, releasing your mudra. Take a moment here to ground. So I invite you during your practice today to sense the connection between the physical body and drawing in this sense of stability and connection and form of the physical body into the inner self, the subtle body, and drawing the energy down towards the earth and drawing the energy up from the earth. Imagine that there's a current of energy, of pran, vital life force, between your core and the earth's core. And this channel of energy can be conveyed by the color or the essence of red, a deep red that symbolizes the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. Let's start by opening up with butterfly, a deeply grounding pose. So bringing the soles of your feet together and knees in a generous diamond. I invite you to gently apply some pressure at your ankles, so a gentle massage here at the ankles. And then the soles of the feet and each toe in turn. Connecting with the organs of action that are your feet. These organs of action that connect us to the earth's stability as we act or move in life, or connect with the earth. The feet are symbolic of this connection. The feet are symbolic of the energy of action, of moving from a place of feeling grounded, rooted. And then when you have satisfied yourself with this massage of the feet, I invite you to lengthen through the crown, lifting the crown, softening through the shoulders. And as you exhale, hinge from the hips and fold forward. Here, you can bring your hands by interlacing all of your fingers. Perhaps you wrap them around the toes. Perhaps you interlace them through the toes, which is an option that I like to connect with, creating this circuit of security. And my friends, we're going to gradually soften towards the earth. So exploring your subtle edge by folding to the point that you wish to hinge forward to. And then when you have the level of engagement that you wish to sit with, surrender and soften into the stillness. You may bring some support to yourself through the use of your pillows or props. So you can place your pillows across your legs or your feet and lift them up to where you want to be. You can create a bridge by using large books or cushions. And as you explore your edge and soften here, you might rest your eyebrow center on your pillow or bolster. Soften and surrender here at this point of depth. And then, my friends, you're invited to pause, to reflect, to observe. Without attachment to anything which arises. If you wish, you can continue to use the Sitali or the Sitkari pranayama at intervals when you wish to bring this cooling energy of into the body. If you think about when we go underground, when we go into the shade, into the cooling darkness, we can maintain a temperature that helps us to feel as if we are cocooned. A temperature that is comfortable for our bodies. Gradually, as animals go into hibernation beneath the Earth's surface, or in caves and burrows, the body temperature gradually lowers as all the body's systems begin to slow down, to move towards the stillness, so that our energy is conserved. And yet this energy is helping us to maintain all of the organs, the functions, the vital life functions, so that when it is time to arise, it is with a sense of being rather than a sense of urgency. This gradual exploration as as we rise out of sleep or hibernation. 3 more nourishing, cooling breaths here. Baddha Konasana. As you inhale, on completion of your round, engage your core. So begin to draw in the pelvis, draw in the navel, sense the deep connection with the earth's core as you rise up. Create some space for yourself by removing your blocks, your pillows. From here, my friends, we're going to move into Mrigi Asana, deer pose. So place your bolster or pillows to the right side here. Have them lengthways so that you can rest the length of your body here. Let's turn this left foot out. Maintain this zigzag in the right knees bend. The left foot turns out so that the left heel is parallel to the left hip. Take a glance here into this space that you've created. Grow from the earth with your spine, lengthening to reach up. As you exhale, let's turn over towards our bolster or pillow or the earth. As you place your hands on the earth, walk your hands away from you so that you come into a reclined pose. Your left ear can be resting on your bolster or pillow. You can be directly on the earth also, my friends. Bring the ring and the thumb to connect in Prithvi Mudra. So move into Mrigyasana to the right, deer pose. Explore the subtle edges, whether you wish to use props or be without props. Perhaps you need to lift the props up closer to you so that you place a cushion or a pillow at the top end of your bolster. So you create a diagonal angle that enables your body to be lifted a little bit more. As you're lying here in Mrigyasana, notice the connection between the root chakra, the Muladhara, and the earth. Imagine that this root is connecting you with the earth and traveling along the length of your spine. So we're deeply connected with the lower body. I invite you to turn the palms face up. If you wish to explore a different experience in the shoulders, you may also turn the left ear onto your bolster to look away. This intensifies the twist in the thoracic spine. And again, my friends, I offer you the cooling pranayama, this sense of drawing in the breath through all the gaps of the mouth. Sitali through the funneled tongue with the mouth in an O shape. Or Sitkari, the teeth and lips softly parted and creating this sizzling sound with the mouth as you draw the breath in. You'll notice that the breath cools all of the moisture in the mouth. On a hot day, you'll often notice that animals tend to roll in the earth, or in a hot climate, animals will roll in the mud to experience the coolness of the earth. 3 nourishing breaths here to the right. Connected with the element of the earth, Prithvi. And as you inhale on your completion of your breath cycle, rise up with this length in the spine, walking your hands back towards your body. So this movement, this release with tender care. Inhale, turn to center. Now with minimal fuss or disruption to your nervous system, we're going to turn over so that we bring the left hip against our pillow and bolster. So leaving it where it is, let's rotate our knees, shift on our sit bones so that we bring the left hip up against our pillow or bolster. And forgive me while I have my back to you for this moment. The right heel is near the right hip. And again, my friends, let's ground through all of the connections of the lower body. Draw up through the core of the earth and through the core of your center, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, turning towards the left. And as you release the next in-breath, lower to the earth. Bring the left ear to the mat. Thumb and ring finger connected in Prithvi Mudra to complete this seal of energy. Palms may turn up or stay on face down on the earth as you wish. And explore where there's a subtle edge. On this side is the same depth of experience as the right side. Here, visualize the growth of the roots. The roots connecting you with the earth. The sense associated with the element of Prithvi is Gandha. Gandha. Smell. Reach into the recesses of your memory to recall the smell of the earth. Just after it's rained. Or when you clear away some leaves. And then the damp earth underneath. This deep, rich, earthy smell, so distinct. The senses, tanmatra, are each connected with an element. The physical world, represented by our sensory body, our sense organs. So just as the feet are the organs of action, the sense of smell is an organ of perception, of awareness. My friends, you're invited to draw in the cooling breath, perhaps intermittently inviting Sitali or Sitgari pranayam. Maintaining the length in the spine after this sacred pause in our practice. I invite you to release with tender care. Moving slowly to maintain this stillness in our senses. Turn back to center for a moment. I'm going to move into saddle pose, or the variation of Virasana known as Supta Virasana, reclined hero. So my friends, this will involve us folding our shins, lower legs underneath our upper leg, and reclining. So reclining only as far as is comfortable for you. So if you have your pillow and bolster here, and you know that you're going to want to stay fairly high up, you can always position your pillow or bolster against the wall. You can place blocks underneath it or cushions so that it feels secure. You can place it against the edge of furniture, or you can build it up on the earth by using blocks or piling cushions at one end. So I'm giving you options because in our home practice, we won't necessarily have all of the props. So foldy blankets and cushions will also serve the same function. Now, the height of this can change, but start off with where you think you might want to be. Let's turn so that our sacrum is up against our bolster or pillows. Options for you, my friends, is half saddle with one leg folded and then the other, or with both legs folded. I invite you to empower yourself with your choice. If you're doing one leg folded, let's bring the heel of the left leg underneath us. See how this experience is on the inside of your ankles and in the knees. If it doesn't feel comfortable at all, I'll give you an alternative in a moment. You can extend the right leg long, or you can keep a bend in that right knee. By placing your side into lower toward earth. So you will notice that the heart is open here. The left leg is folded in, the right leg is acting as stability and support. Move slowly, mindfully, tenderly here. If that does not feel available in this moment, your option, my friends, is you can recline directly on the earth or on your raised cushion, and then take hold of the left shin and hug that leg in. And open out the ankle by pointing the toes. And again, you can have that right leg extended or foot flat on the earth. And it will feel you will feel some action and sensations in this left leg. we're working with if you want to know about which meridians we're working with, because each of the elements are also associated with meridians, we're working with the stomach and the spleen meridians, which run down the legs. If you do wish to move into a variation where you have both legs folded underneath you, fold both legs in, see how you're feeling, and then gradually lower to the earth with your spine. If this feels as if that edge that we're exploring is too sharp, too intense, too deep, either lift your spine a little bit higher off the earth or unfold one leg. If you have one leg folded under you, in a moment, I will give you the option to transition to the other leg. And in that transition, we also want to move with tender, mindful care. So notice here when we soften and surrender into our stillness with our left leg or both legs folded underneath in Supta Virasana. Notice the experience, the contrast of the experience between the lower body and the upper body. This grounding or rootedness or heaviness with the lower body, and this expansion and opening of the upper body. As if you are a lotus with the roots grounded, firmly embedded in mud. The spine as the stem, the heart, anahata, the sahasrara as the opening of the petals. My friends, if you have your left leg folded underneath you, I invite you to move towards this transition. You may be able to transition without lifting your spine. Otherwise, I invite you to lift up by pressing firmly into the earth, tucking the chin, engaging the core so that the neck is long and protected here, rising up. And then sliding this left leg out from underneath you. You may wish to release it by stretching it long for a moment. And then either keeping that left leg extended or that left knee bent, fold in the right foot so that the right heel comes near the right hip. And then again, lower with care. If we are not certain of our subtle edges, move with caution so that we don't overwhelm or shock the nervous system. As the intentionality of our yin practice is to come into stillness through softening and surrendering, so that we may pause and reflect and meditate in this moment and what arises for us. Then we want to invite our hearts and minds to be receptive to whatever arises, rather than to move into a state of protection and defense. And again, my friends, you have available to your pranayam or sitali or sitkari at any point. This sense of tranquility, of quietude that settles on the body and mind as we withdraw into the coolness of the earth. Lam Prthviyai Namah. Lam. When we chant the bija mantra, the seed sound of the earth elements. Lam. Lam. Intentionally lengthen the sound from the root towards the earth. Lam. So that you feel this vibration here at the root. Lam Prthviyai Namah. So you notice how the rest of the mantra rises, but it starts off by being very deeply rooted in this deep vibration. Lam Prthviyai Namah. Three more nourishing breaths here, my friends. Remember, at any moment you have had the agency to move in or out of the depth that you wish to explore, the subtle edge that you wish to explore. If you have both of your legs folded underneath you, place your hands on the earth. Inhale, tuck your chin, engage your core, draw in your pelvis so that you strengthen and connect resilience in the upper body to begin to rise up, moving very slowly, my friends. And then releasing one leg at a time. If you have one folded, extend them slowly. Allow the pran or chi to be released from the joints, especially the knees, the ankles. Perhaps you wriggle the toes to remind the pran to flow all the way. And then let's bend into our knees, place the feet flat on the earth, and just for a moment, windshield wiper the knees one way, then the other, to help create the release with tender care. From here, my friends, we're going to rise up into dragon. Now, you may use the blocks, you may use your pillows or not. So we'll, seeing as I have them stationed there already, I'm going to leave them where they are. So I'll come on to my knees here. Pad the earth if you wish to pad the knees. And I'm going to step forward with my left foot. Now, my friends, I could place my thigh, my right thigh, so that I'm supporting my right thigh on my bolster and pillows, and I can place my hands on my bolster and pillows so that I am quite high up. My hands on the inside of my left foot. This is an option to support yourself here in dragon. You may practice without any props, so you may choose to remove your props. So that your hands are on the earth. Now here, as we have an opening, here where the Muladhara is sort of through this invisible channel connected with the core of the earth through this area here. Visualize think, feel, and imagine the color red. If you wish, you may at any point come down onto your forearms. Interlace your hands. You may also, my friends, interlace the fingers of the left hand between the toes of the left foot. There are so many places for us to explore. You may have your bolster or pillows and you place your forearm or hand on the bolster or pillows. In the yin practice, we explore the subtle edge by finding the place in the asana, the pose that we wish to explore. And then when we found that edge, maybe it's subtle, discreet, perhaps it's deeper, more intense, we then resolve to soften and surrender into that sacred stillness, that sacred pause. And at any point, you can drop in deeper. You can rise up further from the edge. We want to leave the space to explore. We want to leave ourselves with space in which to move in and out of. Think of this at the root, this red essence. Visualize a square. A lotus flower with 4 petals. And we think about the shape of a square, solid, substantive. Shape which provides foundation for our body. Security, stability. You are invited to take Sitali or Sitkari Pranayam to maintain this connection with the coolness of the earth. So remember when we visualize the earth, this core of the earth, warm, fiery red. And yet as we come closer towards the surface of the earth, the temperature drops, it's cooler. Not cold, but cooler. Lam Prthviyai Namah. I am stable and secure within my physical body. I am stable and secure as in all of the support of the earth. Inhaling, we're going to begin to rise out of our dragon. So come onto both hands. If you're on your forearm, release the interlacing your fingers from your left toes. And let's for a moment extend through the left leg. dorsiflex the left foot so that we can allow the prana to flow freely through that left leg, wriggling your toes through your mind, the subtle body of its physical edges. And then let's bring that left leg back, moving into the right side here, stepping forward. So again, you can be supported with your bolster and have your thigh resting on your bolster. Right hand on the inside of the right foot, or you can have the right fingers interlaced in the right toes. Your hands can be, left hand can be directly on the earth or on support. You can always explore and bring that left forearm to the earth. Or your right forearm to the earth if you're not interlacing your fingers through the right toes. Nourishing the body with the coolness of the earth. And as we've been exploring this element of the earth, we are connecting deeply with our ancestors, whether known or unknown. Our family of origin, the rootedness of our family of origin in time, in place, upon this earth. The earth is the greatest ancestor. This surrender and softening is a surrender and softening into the embrace of the earth energies. Pausing and reflecting and bearing witness here to all that arises as we meditate upon the earth with our physical being. When we practice yin, we choose a few asanas, a few poses with care, thinking about the relationship of the body with each of those poses, those asana, but also reflecting on what is the energy that we are invoking or cultivating or connecting with. I know that practicing Sitali or Siddhari Pranayama in an open class with others spontaneously during our practice may make us feel a little self-conscious. But when we practice at home, we can adopt any of the practices without self-consciousness or self-doubt, or we're responding to the needs of our body. Here, my friends, in your variation of dragon, let's release the hands from the toes, rising up onto our hands, and then as we exhale, reach back with the root and extend through that right leg, flexing that right foot, perhaps wiggling those toes, so enabling the prana to be released. And I like to sometimes massage my body there, to reconnect with the physical form. Let's bring that right knee back. Take a moment here. Perhaps you sway from side to side. We're going to move into frog pose. So I'm going to remove my bolster. Having this padded blanket here is quite useful because we can rest our hips on this space. So let's slide onto our abdomens here. And options again. I'm going to invite you to come into Ardha Mandukasana, so half frog pose, by bending into the right knee here and flexing the right foot. So you create the letter H. You can have your fingers interlaced. You can bring your eyebrows center to the earth. Your fingers in your Muladha, Prithviyai Mudra. You can rest your left ear on the earth, your eyebrows center on the earth. Yogi's choice, my friends. And surrender here to the earth. If you wish to explore the variation with both legs, with both knees at an angle, I do invite you to pad the knees because it can feel quite uncomfortable if you connect directly with the hard surface. And then here it might look quite different. So we want to align the knees and the hips, align the knees and the ankles. And for some of us, we might have more space. For some of us, there might be less space. We will gradually create more space. An option also here is to place cushions so that you are resting on a cushion here and then to the earth, from your left ear to the earth. You can bring your left ear to the earth or your eyebrow center here. If you're in the half variation, I will invite you to change over in due course. If your left ear is on the earth and you have both legs folded, I will invite you to turn to the right ear in due course. Mandukasana, frog pose. You're opening up around the hips, concentrating our energies into the space, which in subtle body terms is the root of the body, the base of the spine. At the perineum, that area around the perineum, drawing down towards that intensity of the areas in which we expel, we release. Very close to our areas of sensuality as well, our areas of creative energies. If you have your right knee as part of Ardha Mandukasana, we're going to release the right leg long, perhaps sway gently on our pelvis here. If you have both legs folded in Mandukasana, turn the right ear now. And then my friends, in half variation, bring up the left knee so it's parallel to the left hip. Left ankle is parallel to the left knee. So there's this sort of sense of one corner of your square. And your right ear resting on the earth, or your eyebrow center resting on your hands or a cushion. Exploring your subtle edges and softening into and surrendering into the stillness. Engage with Sitali or Sitkari Pranayama. If you are in the variation of Mandukasana with both of your knees extended out, and it begins to feel too intense in your hips, you can draw your knees in closer together, lift the tailbone, perhaps place another prop underneath the pelvic area so that you have support. You're lifting the earth up towards you through the use of your props. Lam Prthviyai Namah. Lam Prthviyai Namah. Lam Prthviyai Namah. I am deeply connected to the earth's core, the essence of the earthly element, to the roots of myself. Three more nourishing, cooling breaths here. And then when you're ready, my friends, if you have both knees in Mandukasana, I invite you to rise up onto your hands and then slide your knees closer together and exhale into child's pose. If you're in Ardha variation, again, once you brought your legs together, you can either come into child's pose or turn over directly into Shavasana. Bringing the legs together like this in child's pose might feel like a comforting release. And then when you're ready, my friends, we're going to move into Shavasana. And for your Shavasana, set your timer, your insight timer. Insight timer is a great tool for how long you want to rest in Shavasana. 5, 10, 15 minutes. Have props, a bolster or a pillow underneath your knees if you wish. Have available a blanket to cover you, a eye pillow to cover your eyes. And once you've completed your Shavasana, rising up slowly, tenderly, mindfully to close your practice with Lam Prthviyai Namah and then Om Shanti. Once you're settled in your Shavasana, I shall quietly leave you to your practice. Lam Prthviyai Namah. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.